roadside on the right here is a high conservation roadside. It's got some fantastic native stuff on the ground, in the shrub layer and in the overstory or the trees. It's nice and wide, it's got very few weeds, it's got a good range of timber on the ground for habitat and hollows in the trees.
I don't see as many goannas around as I used to. I know that they need big old trees with hollows, and they're becoming a pretty rare commodity. We must have lost a lot of them.
A lot of our species depend on hollows for their habitat, but you need the big old trees. So this one here, on this wonderful roadside, providing great habitat for birds or mammals. Roadsides, to a lot of people, as locals and tourists, is where you see a lot of our wildlife. Mess is best for our roadsides. From a healthy habitat point of view, the clean and tidy roadside just doesn't help our native animals. They've evolved to use all of the living and the decaying parts of a roadside. And these animals, look, they need the bits of fallen timber, they need the messy branches, and they need it for the camouflage, for protection and for food. And we've got a wide range of insects and spiders on our roadsides, on healthy habitat roadsides, including reptiles like the blue-tongued lizard. And echidnas are another example. They eat the ants and termites, and these in turn need the leaf and tree litter to survive. So it's a full system. Our local roadsides come in many shapes and sizes and a wide variety of vegetation, from grasslands to tall timber and everything in between. Now here's a little known secret. The Black Swamp out at Boorman is a wetland of national significance. And due to a quirk in history, it has a road and its roadsides running right through the middle of the wetland. This is a high value wetland, and it's a shallow freshwater marsh and has magnificent old river red gums throughout. This rich habitat supports at least 10 species of bat and a high diversity of woodland birds and water birds. So what's exciting is many people are beginning to realise that their roadsides contain some beautiful original plants like native grasses, blue finger flowers, fringe lilies, the small grass tree, and these used to be much more widespread than they are now.
Roadside vegetation, and spring in particular, is just an amazing time because you always tend to go past roadsides where you seem to have been for 100 times before, and then in spring you'll see a wattle or a plant flowering that for the life of you you've been past a dozen times but you've not noticed it's there until it's flowering, and so there's always something new, and there's an amazing treasure trove of plant and animal, fantastic things that are in roadsides. So yeah.
From a bird's eye view, you look down on the landscape and you can see how important our roadsides are for helping animals link their way through the landscape when they're finding food, shelter, or even their mate.
Echidnas are probably one of those mammals that are still kicking around in this environment, and in a typical situation on a improved pasture, there'll still be lots of ants, but the diversity and abundance of native species is quite reduced, and that's where echidnas will come into their own, where there's this sort of diversity and there's cover and so forth for them too.
I think it was a secret because you never hear much about it. I mean, I'm starting to think that there's a whole system of little native plants and animals living there on roadsides.
The secrets of our roadsides, like this one that we're on in the rural city of Wangaratta, is that we still have fantastic native vegetation, and this is a secret we really want to share with all adjoining landholders and workers and contractors on our roadside, that they're so special we need to look after them.
As daylight fades, a full moon rises over Mount Buffalo like a guardian, keeping roadside secrets safe.